Hi there, folks. I'm right here, I promise. I'm just stretching out my forearm in that before I get ready to start swinging the hammer. So, and I'm going to put a little tape like you would where people that have tennis elbow do. Kind of act as a little bit of a muscle helper, not like super tight. Just enough to give me teensy bit of muscular support right there. There we go. It's not too bad. And it's not too tight, which is nice. So that's nice. If you're joining me, tonight's going to be a simple project. For as long as I have propane, I will be taking this axe head that I cut off and we will be reducing it to fit right here into this hardy hole. So that is what we will be working on tonight. Without further ado, let's get the axe head in there soaking. Also alternate and work on these tongs because I could use these tongs right now. We may work on these too depending on how long we have. Right now, that's it. So how's everybody doing? I'm already starting to sweat. Holy crap. I'm glad. I'm glad I took the time to grab the Gatorlyte Zero that I have sitting next to me over here. And water, so I can drink that while I'm doing this. No, I am not sponsored. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Making some adjustments. I got to do some adjustments to the forge soon, but for right now, we'll leave it the way it is. I'm in my backyard and I'm sitting semi off camera. I promise I'm here. I'm just off camera. So I'll scooch in for you. This will make it easier. We will be reducing the size of this hammer, or this axe, or the hatchet head, so that I can make it a cutoff tool for in my anvil. Because I'm planning to make my beautiful wife, who likes to have fires in that outside, their own tomahawk style axe for splitting timber.
Dumped all of the peppers and onions in the pan.
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were planning on having any sauteed vegetables, and I completely forgot to ask.
No, you're right.
And I was just
I was doing simple beans and rice for myself.
I was so into what I was doing, I was just
no harm, no foul.
Distracted by my music and that, but can I have a kiss?
Yes.
I love you.
Said it at the same time. Not too bad. This is when I wish I had a striker. Yeah, it's not too bad here in Michigan. Relatively decent day. Oh my goodness, wind. Blacksmithing, it's forging. Hello. I think we're gonna have to switch hammers, folks. Nice to know you. switching hammers. Hello. If anybody has any questions, I do answer them. Yes, I am a blacksmith. I've been learning since I was 5 years old. Also, I am an intersex person. That used to be called hermaphrodism, but it's not the actual title anymore because human beings cannot be. But I answer questions about that as well. So please feel free to ask any questions. I come back, sit down periodically between swings and read comments. Plus my partner comes out and will read questions as well. No, unfortunately there is not. It is permanent. It's scar tissue and nerve damage from the surgeries. I lose electrolytes as fast as I put them in my body, unfortunately. Intentionally keep putting that back in and letting it get really, really hot because I do not want to work that cold because it can break. But we're going to try to reduce that to about 3/4 of an inch, or I'll give you guys a millimeter here in a minute for my UK and foreign people. I work in millimeter even though I am in America because I prefer metric. I'm dyslexic, so dyslexia, it's actually easier to do metric for me. No, there is not anything really that they can do. I can put on some types of gels and creams and stuff like that that can help reduce it a little bit and soften it, but not much past that. But I'll give you guys a reading here in just a second, give you measurements so that you know. I work, like I said, in the metric system, so. good. Width-wise, I'm already almost there, and I've reduced it by about a quarter. So I'm getting right in the neck of the woods that I want to be in. You too. Thank you. I tell people all the time I could sit down and just make recordings of me doing nothing but hammering for y'all and send it to you if you want. Make that your ringtone or whatever. That'd be a fun text sounder, wouldn't it? I keep checking it against the hardy hole on the anvil, because that's what I'm doing, is reducing it to fit that. So I will actually do this with the camera so that y'all understand what I'm saying too. So we're trying to reduce its size to fit into this hole right here, this square hole. I'm trying to compress that down so that I can get it to fit in here, so that I can use it as a tool that I just put in here, and then I can use it to cut off metal whenever I need to. So I can kind of go hands-free when I cut and have both of my hands. Raven, 9. Raven, 9. Same weight hammer, but it's the shape that's different, so I need to switch to it a little bit. See if it doesn't help me a little bit like I need it to. something like adding a little extra horsepower, a little different shape, kind of helps you. Promise, staying hydrated. Woo! This is when I wish I had another striker. That definitely helped. That definitely helped. But all the stretching I did and working out and the tape I have on my arm, swinging that big ass hammer ain't gonna help. I'm still gonna feel this tomorrow, but gotta press on. At least I'm doing stuff to try to help keep it from going any further. I should probably find a way to go get some kinetic tape and just start taping my arm before I come out. Probably the smartest bet. We'll get there though. It's all good. No one's talking. Once I reduce it down to the size I need it to be to fit into that hardy hole, we're going to do a little bit more finesse work. But I'm definitely going to have to probably get a piece of like this lawnmower blade that's sitting here and cut that off and forge weld that on the edge so that it's a more durable edge. Although it might just need to be oil quenched. I don't know. but that edge so far really hasn't been retaining very well. So I'm not sure if it's a matter of it just lost its hardness over time, which is possible. It could need to be completely rehardened. So we'll give that a try first, and if that doesn't work, then we'll do a little reprofiling, cut a slit down the center, and I'll forge weld in a piece of this lawnmower blade so that I have a better edge, and then we'll do that. But this is going to be a little bit of a one day at a time kind of project. We're going to get it to shape so that it fits in here, and I'll get it ground into the profile and hardened, and we'll see what happens. Here's hoping it's pretty simple. And I can just deal with it right here.
Millimeters away from fit.
Like millimeters away from fit. So that's good. Here we go. We're almost to dimension to fit in the hardy hole. So we're going to get that hopefully finished. Once that happens, I'll flip it around and I'll start sculpting the blade side better, and we'll get everything squared up and out. I'll normalize it and then we'll quench it. And we'll file test it and see how we go after I do some sanding on it. I am so close. So close to that sliding down. This is the beauty part about being able to work in recycled material, because this axe I found it didn't cost me anything. What I'm doing really is just the cost of the propane, but when I'm done, in the long run, if it works, I have a hot cut tool that I can just drop in my anvil, cut whatever I need to, hands free, and hopefully be able to do a couple of the things that I want to do. Because this is the key to being able to do some of the animal shapes and stuff that I need. Because I need this in the anvil so that I can actually come down at it from the top and like do my cuts differently and stuff. So I kind of need this. And I mean, I could buy one, but why not recycle? That's a fit. That's what we want right there. It'll fit. So now that we know that it'll fit, it's just a matter of doing the shaping. For now, I'm going to work on making that square run as high up on it as I can so that it sinks relatively deep into the anvil and stays better. And it goes in and out smoother. And then I'll start working the top half of it to get it to the point for the edge that I'm looking for. I may need to switch back to the heavier hammer for a minute. Back to this heavier hammer for a minute. I think we're gonna have to keep running the heavier hammer for a little bit longer. A hot cut tool to go into my anvil's hardy hole, so the square hole on the anvil, so that I can cut steel that's hot right there on my anvil, and I don't have to keep holding the tool in my hand like this. I can actually just take whatever it is I'm working over the top of it. You'll see, but it's a tool so that I can have an extra hand basically to help me cut metal that's red hot. Yep, and you saw the way it was standing up in the anvil. That's what we're gonna do. It's the way it's gonna look. Right now though, I'm really trying to get that taper in for that square so that it runs down the center a lot easier. And it causes that wedge part at the top to sink down deeper onto the anvil so that it's a cleaner strike. I actually think I'm going to switch hands for a minute, so my back is going to be to you, but I need to use my left hand for a little bit because my right hand is starting to, the arm is starting to really get to me. Now I'm going to start working the blade side and really narrow that edge in. It's the beauty part about being able to use both of my arms. When I gas out one arm, I can just switch. I know. I always got to hear about it when I was younger. I also was the kid that they always made use the left-handed scissors because I couldn't in school. But they made me have to use my right hand for the most part when I was a kid, because when I was a kid I used to write with both my hands. Like, I would start out writing with one hand and switch midway through. Sometimes mid-sentence I would switch hands, or I would write with both hands at the same time. And they told my parents to make me pick a hand. So they made me right hand dominant and then made me do everything with the left hand because no one else could use their left hand in class. So it kind of felt stupid. They made me write with only my right hand. Never made any sense. Actually, I have to switch over to my right real quick. Switch hammers. Yeah. It is not poison ivy. We've had it checked. My partner is very allergic to poison ivy, so we would make sure that it wouldn't be that. I really want this condensed down on itself. impressive. A hot cut tool for my anvil so that I can cut metal off easier. Making something called a hot cut hardy tool. So what you see me pulling out of the forge started out as a hatchet head that I'm repurposing. So I've reduced it to the size that it is now and the shape that it is so that it can fit in my anvil. And the square hole that is called a hardy hole on my anvil. Yep, that's the best part about it actually, is being able to do that. Now I'm just going to kind of condense that square just a little bit more so that that tool drops further down, and we're good to go. I'll flip it around and try to heat up one side just a little bit and leave the other side dull, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. But I want to just articulate that square down just a little bit more on the part that's going to insert into the anvil. But what that's going in, I'll show everybody again, is I'm making a tool that's going to go right here. That's what we're doing. So that axe head that was like that wide, I've reduced to that size to fit in there. And it's so that that tool can stick up like this with the blade on top of it, and I can rest whatever I need on top and use the hammer to strike it and cut it off. It's helping square it up into the hole. Now comes a little bit of isolation heat. So I'm hopefully only going to heat up that first flat bit of the blade. Here, I'll do this while that's heating up. That piece, I'm hopefully going to, that front piece, get it just hot enough so that when I drop it into the hardy hole, the other side that it just squared off and cold will actually retain the shape I want it to, and the top half that's hot will start to flatten out and spread out when I strike it from the top and start to form the hardy tool the way that I need it to. That's the next step. And if this doesn't work, all I have to do is come back tomorrow with the coal forge and use the coal forge, because I can isolate heat better that way. But I should be able to do what I'm doing right now. I have just the tip of it in there. I actually have most of the piece sticking like out of the forge. So it should stay cool enough to do what I needed to do. I don't want to have to put water on it because I don't know how much of that steel is hardenable, and I don't want to risk it breaking. Whoa. Oh, I'm so glad I have not taken my shower yet. Oh. So one thing that Jackie has over me that I don't like, Jackie has complete androgen insensitivity, so they don't sweat like I do. Because I have partial androgen insensitivity and the non-classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia, the way that I do, I sweat so horribly. So bad. And Jackie doesn't. That's just not fair. On a side note of intersex hilarity complaint, there's one for you. I'm upset with a fellow intersex person because they have a less sweaty, stinky version of what I have. And that's no fair. At least I think so. that way. It looks like I have accomplished my goal from here. So, if we're lucky, just the tip part that I need is going to be hot. Uno mas. Did you see how I did that though with the Hardy hole? I put that in there the way that I did, like this, and struck down on it, and you saw how that piece flattened out the way that it did. It's so that I could thicken up that edge the way that I needed to, so that I could start making the chisel tip that I needed to, and really condense that material down on itself so it really made the wedge shape that I needed it to, so that it was more pyramidish. That's at least the hope and goal here. My dinner smells amazing. We're going to do one more isolation heat just to flatten that out, and then we're good to go. I can get that completely flattened out and ready to go, and we will start our normalization process so that we can harden hopefully that edge. And I have a hot cut tool. Dinner actually smells fantastic. And did you know who make it back yet? Did you know who make it back yet? Okay, good.
It's too hot in our bedroom.
Well, it's a good thing here in a minute I'll be done with this. I'll change out into shorts just so that I can cool off myself, and we can go run those errands real quick.
I have a cluster headache starting.
I'm sorry. straighten it, normalize it, and quench it. Oh my God. Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
We have a small problem.
Propane's running out.
That is the sound of the propane going bye-bye. So we will not be normalizing it. Well, yeah, we will, because it got up to critical temperature for just a second. So we're going to pull it out and let it air cool for a minute. Ooh. So, that's the good news. I have to let it air cool and normalize. The bad news is I need to refill propane. It's a good thing I can go somewhere and get it done. I will do that. We will leave that sitting on the anvil.
Let me stay in the breeze of the outside.
So we'll sit here for a minute or two and I will just kind of cool off in front of y'all. Oh, that arm hurts. Ghost just passed me. So the tape legit helped until it didn't. It helped until it didn't. Oh my God. The other one that burns coal has been being retrofitted so that I could actually have a table and have metal objects sit on it and it not fall out of it like it had happened, like it was a hazard. So I was trying to make it unhazardous, and it's about to be done, and that's cool. I can easily get that going, but not right this second because it takes a minute for the coal to heat up in that. And I have a couple of welds I have to do, so that would be a tomorrow
And
thing.
you've been at it for the last, this whole time you've been doing that, I've been making dinner.
Yeah, that's true. So, and I mean, really, it's not that hard. Like, to tell you the truth, when I get the donations that I do for propane, it's really not that expensive to refill that. If I go to Tractor Supply right now and refill that tank right there,
2025.
it's like $20-25, yeah. Actually,
It can be a little cheaper sometimes, but
I will say it could be
price
as low as
fluctuates.
16 because it depends on the price of liquid propane itself per gallon.
Yeah, it could be as low as 16, as high as 30.
It can be as high as like $30. But I don't go and get a replacement canister because that's more expensive and dumb. I actually have canisters that are in season, meaning they've been inspected, and I take it to a place that actually hooks it up to the liquid propane itself and fills it that way.
When you want to like exchange your canister is when you're getting close to your expiration date, because then you can change it out for one that's been inspected and go right back to your
Just
cheaper
refilling
method
it.
until
Yeah.
that expiration
Yep.
date gets close again.
And I mean, if I wanted
as a
to,
money saver.
if I wanted to, there is the barbecue grill over there that does have a like
Yep.
3/4 of a full propane tank right
Yep.
now. I could pirate, but then if we need to make dinner
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
grill, I would have
And
to
I
swap
should
the
say
tanks.
it's a safe money saver. It's one that maintains safety protocols and stuff while still saving
See,
you a little
that
cash.
was the thing that saved me when it came to coal. As much as I don't like Tractor Supply as a company, okay? Here in Battle Creek, where I live, I only have 2 locations I can go to.
For propane, yeah.
Well, no, for anything related to this. That one is Family Farm and Home, and that's all the way across town from me right now.
Which is actually unreasonable for us to go to.
And they're still owned by Tractor Supply.
Yep.
They're still the same company.
They're still the same. Or go to Tractor Supply.
Or go
itself.
to the one that's closer to me that's actually Tractor Supply.
Yeah, well, there's no other option.
But when I go there, Tractor Supply carries the Coke that I use, which I know everyone's going to think I just said something wrong, but that's the type of coal I use. I use Coke coal, which is a type of coal that has basically been cooked off and condensed and compressed to a very tight, hot burning version of itself. And I mean very, very condensed. Like regular charcoal versus this stuff
Yeah.
is completely different
This stuff burns way longer.
and way hotter.
Yes, it does. But like, you
evening.
still refill quite frequently. But yeah,
Not nearly as
not
much.
nearly
no.
as much. No.
Like I have 40 pounds, a little over, probably close to.
you and Eric would refill about every 20, 30 minutes. Just to maintain your temp.
And
though.
mainly it was just putting a little on top. It wasn't
Yeah.
really adding that much
because
to it.
there was 2 of you.
Yeah. But you're talking that is running full bore too. That's
Yeah.
a big difference. If you're running on like maintenance, which means
Yeah.
that you turn down your airflow, so it's not as much air coming to it, so it doesn't burn as hot. There is that. So you burn less. But it's the difference between this forge right here, my propane forge, gets 2300 degrees Fahrenheit. Like I can forge weld. It's a single burner, but I have it built to where it melts the inside. Like right now, if I point the camera inside the forge, I have fire bricks that have liquefied to glass inside. It's so hot. And they're rated for 2200 degrees. That's how I know roughly how hot that is inside. My coal forge, the one that I use, the type of coal I use, that can do forge welding. The coal forge can physically liquefy steel. Like I can melt it down to liquid. I've actually had it happen when you don't pay attention and you have like your metal sitting in a coal forge, the kind of coal forge I use. In a second, you look away and it will just burn off. Like you will look away, look back, and you'll see sparks coming out of the forge, like little sparklers twinkling out, and you're like, oh wow, and it's green, and you're like, what the hell? You look down and the entire end of your billet has just melted off and is in the bottom of the forge now in the form of what we call clinkers, which is the slag that condenses back into mild steel at the bottom of your coal forge. Coal forges like that also burn with no oxygen. So they burn so hot that there's no oxygen in the environment in the center of the fire. So the coal itself, as it's burning, sucks all of the oxygen away. So I don't build up slag on top of the parts that I'm working on as easily. The caveat to that is, again, if I blink, I will have goo. Better forge weld, the potential to make liquid out of whatever you're working on that needs to remain in solid state. So there is that. But this running out of propane, it's really not that bad. Like I said, when I get the random donations that I do, that's when I refill that. And like I said, it's anywhere between 16, as low as 16 and as high as 30. It just depends on the price of liquid propane right now. Now, I might not be able to fill it tonight. I might have to wait till tomorrow because Tractor Supply and the time in which they close and stuff. Because they're propane, they have if it makes sense, you have hours when you can go get it filled. Because they have to have a particular, because it's outside. But I love, as much as I don't like Tractor Supply as a company, as a blacksmith, they have a lot of the stuff that I need. As a pet owner, they have a lot of the stuff I need. Because you can get a lot of your pets like shots and stuff that you don't need a prescription for. Like there are certain shots you don't need prescriptions for that you can get for your pets, like kittens and dogs and stuff from Tractor Supply. You used to, at least. They might not do it anymore because people tried to fix COVID. I have no idea, but they used to be that way. But anyways, no, Tractor Supply, Bex and I, Bex being a farrier and wanting to do farrier work, like that's what Bex wants to learn how to do, is to be a farrier. And I say more power to them because farriers can make some pretty big bucks. Why am I not a farrier? I don't mix well with horses.
That's okay. You still have to. Yeah.
And actually, I probably mixed just fine with horses. It was probably the stuff that was wrong with me that made me not mix well with horses, because I'm completely different now than I was then.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I've just never been a horse person. Like, I'm just not a fan of horses.
My horse has to have a partner, though.
That's fine.
So, I'll teach you.
But I do know how to do horseshoes. Like, I do know how to make horseshoes. Theoretically, I could teach Bex how to make horseshoes, but when it comes to doing some of the shoes that you have to make for farrier work, I don't know how to do that because I've never done the testing for it. And blacksmithing has different testing. For anybody that's curious, I have to get my instructor certification, I have to go through and make gate latches. Yep. So like a latch to a gate that when the gate swings closed, the latch works autonomously without me touching it. From forged pieces.
Yep.
I have to make...
You also have to teach someone else
how to make it.
Yep. So actually me learning from her in any kind of way is already steps in the direction that you need to go.
But yeah, I have to teach people what I do.
Yep. There's basic skills that we have to be able to, that I have to be able to show other people for you to get that certification.
Yeah, and because of the fact that I'm going for an instructor certification, which is different than...
Yep.
I have to be able to do not only the task, but teach someone to do the task.
Yes, and then the person you teach must also be able to complete the task.
Because I also have to teach Bex how to make their own hammer.
Yep.
Because that's required.
Yep.
I have to teach Bex how to make their own punch to punch the eye of the hammer.
Pliers.
Tongs.
Or tongs, yeah, tongs.
Oh, all of it. But that's what I have to teach. And that's part of the reason, like, you guys are watching me brush up on skills that I have not had to use in a long time.
Yeah, because you're going to need them to make that lock and that latching lock.
Yeah. That's another thing that I actually can make is a lock. I know how to make. Then again, it makes sense because there's another fun factoid for everyone that they can put in their belt or in their little tidbit about Casey. I know how to pick locks.
Yeah. I know how to find you when you don't want to be found. Casey picks locks. I know how to do that, but I'm better at, I love hunting people in that way, and like finding people when they're like,
and they do mean in that like capacity.
Yeah.
We used to have a different life at a different time. But anyway, I got to be able to do all of that. I got to be able to teach people how to do leaves, make punches, drifts, that kind of thing. So I have to go out and get a bunch of metal now too. But I am signed up for all of that so that I can get the instructor certification, and then when I can do that, I can teach classes. But I go for a different certification than a farrier, because I'm going for what's known as an artisan.
Yep.
Which is, like, it's not to toot my own horn, it's one of the hardest types of blacksmithing to do, because it's not, there's no, like, there's set guides for some of the things that we make, like punches, drifts, that kind of thing. But I'm the person that you come to when you have that really fancy mansion that you want the wrought iron fencing that goes around the house and the gate that has the moniker and like your family crest on it. That's what I do out of metal. Which means I am doing different shapes than just, we'll say, a traditional shape. One of the things that I need to get my hands on, and it's funny because Lori is in here, and if you ever wanted to do something fun, Lori, I will look on Facebook where it is. But over in Ohio, and I know you live in Ohio, there is a bunch of blacksmithing stuff. Like, you can go to these places where they sell tools and stuff, and you could pick up like hammers and other blacksmithing tools and send them to me, because I know you have my address. But like, there's a bunch of places over there that I could show you that have tools, and I could show you the kind of tools that I look for. And then the coolest part about that is I would be reusing antiques, because that is the beauty part about blacksmithing tools too. Blacksmithing tools are antique tools that can be repurposed. But there's a couple of tools. One of them that I need is called a spring fuller. So that goes in the same hole that I've been working for the hot cut Hardy tool. It goes into that square hole, and it is it's called a spring fuller. So it is pieces of metal that are rounded on the top and on the bottom. And I put the piece of metal in between those two pieces of round bar and strike from the top, and it pinches the metal and gives it the semi-hemisphere that's there, and it flattens and stretches out the metal. When you go to make like pipe tomahawks, that's the way that you do to do the fullering for it. So there's that. There's also a tool called a guillotine, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is the bottom. You can also get them with fullering tools, but it's a metal plate that goes into the same hole on the anvil, and it's literally the shape of a guillotine, and then a piece of metal that slides in through the top. You lift that piece of metal up, slide the hot piece of metal in, drop the top, whack the top with a hammer. It's called a guillotine. I would love one of those, just because I don't have an extra set of hands, and it would help. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of Indiana and Ohio have a bunch of blacksmithing stuff. Right now, if I had $300 cash, Union City has an old sawmill anvil, like old school, like beastie. Those things normally go for $1,000 kind of anvil. Like, it's bigger than the one that I have sitting here. Like, I think it's 100-pound, full horn and everything, with the inch Hardy hole in it. If I had $300 cash right now, that I would be, Union City's like 20 minutes from me. That sucker would be here right now. But it's because it's an antique. Well, that is if they still have it, because I mean, it's on Facebook Marketplace. But that's one of the things about, as much as I don't like that app, it's one of the advantages to the Marketplace, because a lot of antique stuff and that gets sold through there. So I actually surprisingly find a lot of tools in that on Facebook Marketplace. There's also the place here on TikTok that I've put up on the screen that I did a video for. That place is out of New York, and they have a bunch of stuff like that. But we're talking the anvil down in Union City that I saw for $300 like 2 days ago. That is a $1,500 anvil. I know exactly how much the anvil cost because the stamping and marking is still on the anvil. So I know the type of anvil it is. And this person just wants it off their property. They keep dropping the price because nobody will come buy it. It was $350 2 weeks ago. So if it would still be there. I love Bex's face right now. I'm excited talking about the anvil, and Bex is going, I don't want to spend $300 on an anvil. If I right now, in all honesty, I don't know if I would pick up that anvil, even if I had the $300. I will be honest, and it's not just because of Bex's face in the background over here, just because that would require a lot more than what this anvil does. Those anvils, as big as that would require like 4x4 posts that are lag screwed together to make a base, and I would have to make sure that that is exactly the right height off the ground. But they have another thing that I could use that would be nice is they're called leg vices. And that place down in Ohio has them. So that's like, a vise that you see that mounts to like tabletop vices that you crank down. A stand vise, or what they call a leg vise or a post vise, is literally by definition exactly what it sounds like. A lot of times people will drive a post into the ground and slide this down right through because it has a stake, or it gets anchored to the anvil in some location, like to the wood of the anvil, just offset of it. And it's just a gigantic vise. But if I had one of those out here, I wouldn't need to try to make the table to bring out here. That would be nice. Because it's a more industrial vise too. But I'll get you the information, Lori. I can text it to you. Like I said, it comes up when I look in Michigan for blacksmithing tools. It's a place in Ohio. I don't remember where in Ohio, but I know it's a place in Ohio. And it's just because Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Michigan, we had some pretty high instances of like logging and things that would require blacksmiths. So there's a lot of antique blacksmithing equipment that just happens to be around. The anvil I'm talking about is actually used in farrier work. That's how I can tell the type of anvil it is. The horn of the anvil is indicative of a horseshoe anvil, like the shape of the horn is one that's used for farriers. The one down in Union City. I have to go do some running and pull it out in cash form, but yes. Thank you. I was honestly running out the battery because I feel bad that I had to stop forging because I ran out of propane. Like, that is hilarious. Not too bad. I am going to Bex wins. Yeah, Bex wins. When I do get propane again for the forge, and when I can afford to get propane for that, and I have the money, I need to go buy kinetic tape. Right now, I just learned my lesson. Because I gave myself several days of healing And I know people watched me stretching my arm before I ever picked up that hammer. For probably a good 20 minutes before I started swinging, I did nothing but sit here and do this. And
But that's not stretching.
I know, but I'm saying I was even doing this between is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it from hurting. And no, I think I need the kinetic tape to tape the muscle to just reinforce to help. I really do. I think Bex wins on this one.
Don't listen to the athlete. No, don't listen to the person that swam in high school and is used to her shoulder injury and using kinetic tape. Nope. Don't listen to them.
Do you hear what I put up with?
Do you hear what I put up with?
Thank you. Bex did it yesterday on live.
Yep.
Here in a minute, I'll be off of live. Bex made dinner and it smells fucking phenomenal. I can smell it out here.
Carne asada.
Yeah.
That carne asada with some peppers and onion. And then we have rice on the stove. We have beans. Oh, you're going to love the lettuce when you go in and you see what the lettuce looks like.
It was to make steak fajita burritos.
And carne asada burritos. Burritos with carne asada inside.
Yeah.
Because to be carnitas, it would have to be marinated pork.
Listen to the person that worked in the restaurant industry in that particular ethnic.
Oh, that's why I was...
Bex worked at a Tex-Mex restaurant.
Mm-hmm. It's why I say things right, too, is because I learned from them how to say it, how to make it. It's why I listen to that music. It's actually lovely.
But I need the kinetic tape for my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Bex 1,000% wins that argument.
I knew I would.
Oh my God. Like right now, I will say this much. I definitely don't want that anvil because I struggle to pick up this 65-pound anvil. That thing's over 100 pounds. No.
I like cueritos. Those are that's one of my favorite things to eat. Cueritos.
There you go.
I have yet to get. So I think if I remember right, I believe Minion 4 said that if I get a jar of cueritos and the other stuff that they would try.
Mm.
But I need to make the tomato sauce that would be on the side.
I'll tell you what. One of the things Bex learned from that restaurant and the cooks there, like Dulce and Leticia
How to
and
make
stuff.
good Mexican food.
Yeah, there is that. But it is the application of mayo instead of like sour cream to your tacos and burritos. That is a game changer. That shit is awesome.
And your
So
tostadas.
awesome.
Menudo. See, cueritos I wound up trying and they didn't, like they told me what it was by that name and it looked delicious and it smelled delicious, so I dug in and like and then I was told, well actually I wasn't even told, I went and found out what it was by going and shopping for it myself, and I was surprised. But yeah, texturally, it is something that people would have to get over. For those that don't know, cueritos is pickled pig skin. It is fucking delicious. And what you do is you take a tostada, and then you put a little bit of mayo, and then you put a little bit of frijoles, just a thin layer, and you put the lettuce on there, and some of your cheese, a little bit of the tomato sauce, and then some cueritos on top. It's so good.
One of my favorite things to eat is I like to take tostadas with a little bit of mayo, refried beans, so frijoles, and when we would do like the different shredded meats,
Yeah.
Put that on top and just eat it like that. That was really good.
But yeah, that's what we would do is tostada, mayo, frijoles, lettuce, or lechuga, if we want to keep it in Spanish.
Not me. My Spanish is horrible. Like, my Spanish would have to suck to be an improvement.
Oh, the Mexican chili that I made. The
Oh,
chili
God,
they
that
taught me to
is so
make.
good, though. God, that is so good, though.
You take
The chefs that taught you how to
and
make
you
that are like my favorite
take
people in
dried
the world.
guajillo and empty out the seeds, soak them, toast them, soak them, and some chile de árbol. Leave a few of the seeds though, if you want to give yourself some more kick.
That's
Garlic, peel the tomatoes, and boil them, or boil them and then take the skin off, whichever you prefer. And then blend them so you can make your
with
sauce.
the corn and the,
Yep, and then you make the pork tenderloin, and you get your soup base in there with the guajillo and everything, and yeah, then the corn goes in, and you have the tostadas and the lime juice. Oh my gosh, that's what we would have family dinners at Mexicali. So like Leticia and Dulce and Ramiro and myself and like Griselda, we would all go to the Mexican food store, and we'd buy ingredients, and then we'd bring them to the back kitchen.
legitimately, that's what it is too. Just so everyone knows.
That's what it was called. Yeah, well, Nina's Market.
Yeah,
and-
Nina's Market. It was actually started because we have Nina's restaurant.
Yeah.
And
But we'd go there and we'd pick up the tostadas from there. We'd pick up the guajillo and the chile de árbol, and we'd all bring we'd all buy in and then bring ingredients and make family dinner in back of house on Friday, Saturday nights. Sometimes we'd have various tacos, cueritos, Mexican chili, you name it. It was lovely. I loved working with those people. We hated our boss. We loved each other.
the boss was an asshole.
He was.
But I should probably hop off of live. I have 26% battery, and I need to go get money for Minion so that they can go to Starbucks. And I need to go somewhere and cry silently off camera because my arm fucking hurts.
I'm gonna go make men cry on Call of Duty after we get home from running errands.
I don't think there is enough of the special green herb right now to make my arm not
We might
fucking
have to
hurt.
get you some that you can eat of the indica persuasion.
I don't know why, but the longer I sit here, like the bottle, like you see me doing this with the bottle,
Or a drink.
this hurts.
Ooh, can you imagine a
This
nanotech
hurts.
drink that's an indica driven?
That would be nice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So Minion 1 is out at 9.
Okay.
So really, we could go inside, I could charge my phone, I could change. And if we wanted to, we could leave with enough time to do the errands and grab him and just come home all in one big death move.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Oh my god. Like, I legit just realized I have to sit up to turn off my phone, to turn off the live, and that does not seem like a pleasant idea because I have to push with that arm. That arm hurts, folks. Whew. Thank you, abs, that people don't think I have.
They close at 9:45.
Well, I
So we got
guess.
more than enough time. Well, it's because their close time is actually 10, but they stop taking people in
Yeah,
at 9:45. Yep. But you see their process and how you move through.
Oh my god. So I will leave it at that as I shut down. Am I next to the highway? Kinda, sorta.
Yeah, We're not next to it, but it's close enough that you can hear it every once.
I'm not that far from it.
Yeah, no.
No. But anybody that would like to donate for propane, you know, the email that is in my bio is my PayPal. I will have to wait and pick up propane in the morning because Tractor Supply doesn't have a propane person at this hour right now. But I can fill the propane in the morning and we'll be good to go. I am going to try to figure out why this hurts so bad. And I'm going to eat dinner, hopefully, because Bex made me really hungry sitting here smelling food. Then again, they used to do that too when they would come home from work from Mexicali, the restaurant we were talking about.
Smell like the chips.
They'd smell like chips and refried beans, and that is like my favorite all-time snack food. So there's that. Which, not to get too graphic, but it is my favorite snack food smelling like my favorite snack food.
Why do you think I say you like to eat Mexican?
It's true. Fact. But I love y'all. I will see you on the other side. If my arm feels up to it, hopefully I can get those 2 welds done and get the coal forge out here. I'm just hoping I can use my arm. That's why I'm stalling. It's a good thing I have a left hand. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow morning for my AM Live.